So, so you said your mom was from Compton. How did y'all get to Oxnard? How you pronounce it?
Oxnard, yeah. Oxnard, California.
And where's that at?
It's a little north of LA. We took
El Segundo, like towards El Segundo.
You go 101 north towards Santa Barbara.
First time I heard of it,
yeah. Calabasas, like past the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ventura County. It's nice.
Okay.
And it's a little more secluded, but it's by the beach. But more people moving there now. But back then, it was a lot of people would be there because of the military base.
Oh, wow.
It's there, and you get a lot of military people there, a lot of retarees, and a lot of agriculture is out there. So it was a lot of Latinos, a lot of Mexicans, and Salvadorians, because it's all like strawberries. You can grow everything there.
Right.
So the majority of it is agriculture, like immigrants that be over there working. And my mom,
she likes strawberries, right?
Yeah, that's how my mom winded up over there. She got gifted a business. One of her friends gave her.
1707.
And he was going to take over, and he was like, take this. He went doing, she was like doing junior college. She had 2 kids already. She was like, fuck it, and then she did that, and it got bigger and bigger every year. And by the time
she always worked for herself.
Yeah, entrepreneur from the jump. And then she met my dad, and they started doing that together. And that didn't work out. My pops went to prison when I was really young, 6 or 7. But then she continued to go and married again, and they got into the same business. And by the time we was high school, it was a multi-million-dollar business.
You know what the illest shit about you is? I always kind of see you smile, right?
Yeah.
And to me, I'm scared of people who smile, right? Like I'm gonna tell you why. Because they want to protect their peace. That's what that means. If a person smiles. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, not, I don't mean scared. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what I mean is, like this guy. Like, if you see somebody smile, it's like that's a person you don't want to break their peace.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. And when I started researching you, and I realized both of your parents went to jail, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, both of them did stretches in penitentiary. My mom's was 7.5 years in Corona State, and my stepdad did about a year less. But yeah, the same business that she did, she was getting over her head kind of case. It's like they had crazy counts against her. She pled guilty, took a plea, and she did 7.5 state, and did that shit. Went in, got her degree.
They were like at the same time, or
yeah,
it was a separate time?
No, they were like the same time. Wow. It was my stepdad, and he came in around when I was like 6 or 7, so
okay,
and all the way till I was about in high school. But yeah, they both got put in the same time, and I was like senior in high school. Like, I thought I was about to be like, I was making beats already, DJing. I was like, I'm about to be signed to Rockefeller. Like, I'd be the youngest over there. I'm gonna do this, and then that happened senior year, and everything just upside down. My sisters had to move in, and everybody was just scrambling. Me and my little sister was still in high school. So.
How many siblings?
I got 3 sisters from my mom, and it's 2 older sisters, Ronnie and Camille. Shout out to Ronnie and Camille, and my little sister Fielding. And that's who we grew up in Oxford. I was the only boy, and I'm the middle. And so
that must have been a rough time for him.
Yeah, it was tough, but we're all really close. Right. So everybody banded together, and once I graduated, I was like, okay, I'm not signed yet. I'm gonna get a job, so I moved out.
That's when you worked in a weed farm?
Working everywhere. Weed farm, I did groceries, I did assisted living, I sold shoes, sneakers, sold weed. I was the worst weed dealer.
Are you smoking your own?
Just getting. No negotiating skills. I was doing all my fines and shit. You gotta pay other people, and the niggas are trending. Like, damn. I have no gun, I'm just chilling. Yeah, I was just having fun out there, yeah. But then eventually I got in my right lane, in my right mind. It's like, I'm gonna do music.
So California, like, who we always know is heavily gang populated. Was Oxnard heavily gang?
Yeah, heavily. Yeah, growing up, that's all I knew. Growing up, when I was coming up, my earliest memories of hanging out with my cousins, they were gangbangers, and they were always, beefing with different people in the neighborhood. And I just remember people always going in and out of jail, or, getting, hooked on drugs. And early on, they were like, all the gang members I knew were, early on, they used to say, like, you were different.
Come on, you?
Yeah.
Because you don't look like you belong in the game.
Not at all. Not in the least bit. It's funny though, like the music that I love the most gang banging is like shooting on shit.
Oh, wear Snoop Dogg CD one time when you cross.
Yeah, when I was little, like since I was little, I was listening to Snoop, and for show and tell, I used to learn every lyric and just rap, the song. That would be my show and tell, and I was obsessed with hip hop. My sister would have all the tapes, and I was obsessed with everything that she was obsessed with, and that was what my meter was for cool. So I was like, yeah, but all the early people that were in that life were like, you're special, you're talented. I used to just sit and they were like, do it, and I just dance. I'll do all the kid and play, like crisscross, like I would do all that. I was such an entertainer. I wanted to just entertain. I'd do the Bobby Brown, I put the jacket over, and it would be like every day a party for my family, and I would be just entertaining Michael Jackson. I'd be flipping all over the place. And so so there was like boom, and then when I started playing drums, I started getting interested in musical. There was like really like this ain't great. You stick with that, you know.
When you started playing drums, that was in the church.
Yeah.
So was that a 360 moment for you when Super Bowl when you on the drums, because it's like that's when you started out in the church, but look at you on the biggest stage in the world, and you're going back to how you started. How was that moment for you?
Cheers to Super Bowl.
Cheers to Super Bowl.
That was mom. Clap it up for that.
That's right. Make some noise for that.
Super Bowl, baby.
Scott Storch must have been sitting back like, man, fuck this motherfucker. How he get anybody on stage? But yeah, describe that moment.
Shout out to Scott Storch.
But he know that joke was funny.
That's my dad.
He know that joke was funny.
I had to hit Dre up. I was about to be left off that motherfucker. I'm like, I ain't got to be.
We had Scott talk about it on here, and we had Dre talk about it on here. I asked Dre, I asked Dre, did you think you missed somebody off of the stage? And he looked at me. This was the hardest part of the interview, in my opinion. He looked at me and was like, no. And I said, oh shit.
I was sure his answer.
He was.
They had already dropped the flyer for the Super Bowl, right?
And you weren't involved.
I was not on that shit. I hit Dre direct. Dre, what the fuck? Let me get on that joint. Let me play drums, something. Let me, I can get in there somewhere. He said, hey, it's all good. I made my own flyer. I superimposed myself on that shit. This is before that shit was before I hit my people up. I'm like, look, you gotta figure it out. I threw myself on there. I was like, yo, it's good. Like, he's like, we're gonna find something for you. I was like, bet. I'm putting myself on the flyer. I'm gonna just take a few liberties. I'm gonna just throw myself on there. And I showed it to him. He started cracking up. He was like, make sure they know it's a joke. I was like, that's all good. I'm gonna post it. And I was on that shit. Next thing you know, I was
way to manifest it.
It's not fake it till you make it. It's bring it to fruition.
See it all the way through.
Yeah, shout out to Jay, shout out to everybody that was on that
show. Let me ask you though, when you actually got the call, what was it that you poured in?
Big. And I did.
It's amazing. Yeah, first name is dead on.
Really big. Alright, I'm in. That was pretty much the gist of it. The next thing you know, I'm at rehearsals, and he's like, I got this idea. You down to play for Marshall? And I'm like, let's do it. Like, lose yourself. And the fucked up part was that I was rehearsing for the Subsonic shit at the same time. We was rehearsing for our residency. If you went to the LA residency, that was we were rehearsing for that at the same time, and I feel like we only had like a month to get the show right. And we did a month straight, and I had to keep telling Bruno, like, I gotta go for Super Bowl rehearsal, I gotta leave early, and stuff. And both of them are just like, they're so fixated on having the greatest show, and that's why they do have the greatest show, because they really work at it. And Trey's no exception, and he was getting these rehearsals in, and they put together an amazing show, and I was able to sneak in like 2 or 3 rehearsals with Trey and it. Shout out to my boy that was the MD over there. Oh my god, I'm drinking and smoking, but charge it to my heart, me. But my boy Adam Blackstone, who put together the show, was incredible in his band, and he took care of me and got me where I was comfortable. I could jump in there and also get back in rehearsal. So when we had to do the Super Bowl, it was insane, because right before we go onto the field, we're like on the side of the field, and they get like 30 seconds to set up the stage or whatever.
Wait, 30 seconds?
I mean, something like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm hearing, you put your in-ears in, and you can hear everybody talking, and like, it's seconds before we go up, and I hear Snoop go, he go to Dre, hey, cuz, is it la-di-da-di-da or da-di-da-di-da? And Dre goes, what? And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lights off, we gotta come on.
Oh my god.
Hey, cuz, is it la-di-da-di-da or da-di-da-di-da? And Dre goes, what? And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lights off, we gotta come on.
Oh my god.
And I'm playing to lose yourself. You only get one shot.
Right.
I'm like, dude, do not drop your sticks, bro. Right. This is like the biggest thing. It was just incredible, man. Like the way they orchestrated it, and it went off without a hitch. That was a big moment for sure. Right. And everybody was like, I was like, should I smile? When I'm on, damn, I couldn't help it. And I'm like, I'm gonna be straight faced. And then, as you can see, I had the biggest fucking smile the whole time. Yeah, I tried. I was hyped.
So did you say la-di-da-di-da or da-di-da?
I blacked out. I don't even know. I think he was la-di-da-di-da. Yeah.
But go back to when you get your hands on drums. How was that presented to you in the church? Like, how did you get drawn into drums yourself?
I started playing drums because I wanted a girlfriend or something, I wanted like girls to, like I was getting into 12, 13, and everybody had a thing, and I thought I was gonna be an NBA player. I thought I was gonna be like a wrestler, like all this thing, and I was drawing, and I wanted to be in a cartoon. Like I was like, why couldn't life be a cartoon? But I was like, I need to do something. And then I was like, I love music, and I was very percussive, and the drums were the one thing that when I got on, it was like second nature. Like I never had to really overthink it, so that's why I stuck with it. And so
it's natural.
Yeah, in 6th grade grade, I started playing in like orchestra band, and it was cool. I was about to quit, but then my step-pops, I came home one day and he had a drum set, and he was playing Prince, and I didn't even know he played drums, and like I was like, okay, the full drum kit, that might be more my thing. And he was just always jamming. He wouldn't let me get on the drum kit for a minute, and then he finally got off, and I hopped on and I started playing, and it was just like, man, a few minutes I was getting it. I had the mechanics, and my mom was popped out of the room and was like, you're crazy. My mom's a really big critic, you know, and she was like, you got it. She was dancing and shit. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can make people dance and shit, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And I just kept learning all her records, Earth, Wind & Fire, Frankie Beverly, Al Green, you know, George Benson. Yeah, she would just, she would give me CDs. She had booklets of CDs.
I played on drums, you saying?
Yeah, drums. She would learn this. I mean, everything. Freddie Jackson, Heavy D, Tony, like, so much stuff. And then I started, you know, getting older and listening. Then my god sister came through. She's like, you need to go play at church. That's where all the musicians at. You playing drums? Oh, you're ready. Go. You need to play at church. And we never been to church before that. I was like 12, and my mom grew up in a church house. Her father was a pastor, but she never really made us go to church like that. And so when I was invited by my god sister, it was because the music initially. And when I went, I saw the best music, I saw the best players, and then I was, you know, under people that were reading the word and the best like mentors and stuff, and they were just taking me in, and I got a bunch of kids that are my age that were going to church too, so that became like my little network, my social network, and that was everything. That's where I learned, like, that was like my camp, you know, like every day I'm a church kid. And
to tell you the truth, you could hear the soul in your voice. You could tell that you had to start early in the church.
Yeah, that was it. And they didn't let me play shit like for years. I was just
the drummer?
staring at the drums for a long time. Yeah,
he was the bench for that.
Yeah. And then you, for communion or offering, you might get a chance to play. Like, come on, little nigga. And you play, you fuck up one time, get off. And they embarrass you for everybody. The next guy come in, you know, and that's what it was about. You're playing, you know. I think D'Angelo said this one time, it's not for any form or fashion, it's to glorify God, and you're a vessel. So any little thing, you know, it's like, it's very sacred. So you get the best musicians, and eventually you're able to play more and more, and get, you know, it's like training, you know.
Yeah, the practice hours if you're playing in church is crazy.
And I was there every day of the week down there. It's like Monday youth service, choir rehearsal, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, then we travel, you know. Shout out to Dries Mitchell. That was me and an organist, and that was how I grew up playing for years, all the way till I was in my late 20s, till I couldn't do it anymore. That was how I got paid every week. When I didn't have a job, I could always play at the church. I was literally feeding my kid with that. Like, it's it was my everything for sure.
There's something special about folks who come through without being asked. Like your coworker surprising you with your favorite coffee just because, or your friend handing you the aux cord the moment you get in the car. No debate, no fight, just positive vibes. That kind of love, it just hits different. And that's exactly the energy AT&T is on with their new guarantee. If there's ever a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. No calls, no emails, no jumping through hoops. It's just handled. There's guaranteed for full details. AT&T, connecting, changing.
Now his blessing first. But, you know, B is like such a mastermind, man. He's really a visionary and a perfectionist, and is a dude that is cut from the same cloth. Another musician, knows about playing in church, knows about showbiz from an early on point, you know, playing when he was like imitating Elvis in a full family band since he was like 6, 7, you know, like that's some shit right there. So he comes from a different side of it, so he knows, I don't know, he's just really good with not only constructing these songs and putting in the work to make it happen, but also how is it going to look? How are we going to position it? What suits? What kind of choreo? Like, now let's really drive it home. Let's show them how to dance to it. Like, let's, you know. So this is a whole other part that I learned a lot from, you know, in that process with Silk Sonic. And we didn't have shit else to do. It was COVID. There's nothing else to do. So that's probably why it was perfect. And that's how you can ever get that back.
And the time where things weren't fun, like it looked fun.
Yeah, we were having so much fun. Some days we just pull up, not a single bit of work would get done. We're just laughing, talking shit. And next day we try to do something, but this day we just laughed all fucking day. You know? And that's rare. You meet people. That's rare that in the industry when you work this long. I've been blessed with people work now in the double digits, and it's like to meet people that are in your peer group that are like that still and have that passion for it and still want to win. It's refreshing, and it's like something you cherish.
Now let's talk about you just used the word perfection, right? One of the people that is known for perfection is Dr. Dre. Like I've heard Dr. Dre made people come to his. Have you worked with him? Yes, I have. But I worked with him early on in 1997. Told him that he didn't remember how dope is like this. It's just, he was like, word. You remember the session? This was on Clubhouse. There's a track called Leave It On For Album. So I'm asking you, has it ever been frustrating, or you always respect the process? Because I heard like perfection. Like I already had people come back 10 times.
Yeah.
Give one line.
Perfection.
Yeah. I think
massive,
Yeah.
one of the most legendary groups. You know?
Right. So to be in the studio, let alone be signed by him, like.
Right.
I'm telling you, I never in my wildest dreams. So when I was just getting in the studio with him, when he was working on Compton, he was inviting me over. Man, that was just.
That's the first time I worked together.
Yeah,
Compton album, right?
yeah. It really put a battery in my back. It gave me the gusto that I needed because before that, I didn't think I was gonna get to meet him. I didn't think I was gonna get to work with him.
Right.
You know, coming up as a writer in LA, you always got hit up to do detox sessions and work on stuff that the mic may not come out, and
They never make it.
it was just always a thing. And so when I almost missed the opportunity to work with him because I, was thinking that, that already came and went, and I was such an idiot that I almost that was that close to letting the opportunity go because I was thinking like, nah, he ain't gonna be at the studio. I'm got my own thing going. I don't need to go and work on this.
Wow.
Yeah, at the time, and my manager was like, are you
So you had the 500 followers.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool.
50,
I
was spiking up.
Okay, all right, cool.
I was spiking up double up. But no, I was just like, nah. And then he was like, you go, bro. Like, just go, And then I went, and it was like, wow. Right there, first two people I'm meeting, Trey and DLC.
Did you have a record out and they didn't play it for you?
I did have a record. It was bubbling. It was like, floating around. I had a single out. I don't even know if it was officially out or what, but I think it was out, actually. I had a record out through Stones Throw through another group called No Worries. Shout out to my brother.
And you had to play it for him. You were nervous as shit.
And I got invited, and he was there. And so I went into the studio I was working with. He was working on a project called Compton, and he was working with these two writers, Mez, who my dog to this day, and JT. Incredible writers. And they were like going crazy. They were playing me the music that they were working on for Trey, and it was incredible. And they were like, yo, we love your song Suede. And that was the song I had bubbling. Wow. And that's the song I had, and it was a single. And he was like, we love this, and we want to play it for Dre. And I was like, Dre ain't heard it yet. Yeah. I was like, well, let's make some new shit. Let's get him excited about something else. In case he don't like it. And they're like, nah, fuck that. We bringing him in here. We brought him in. He was like, what the fuck was that? It was one of those. Anytime you get the 2 thumbs up, you did something crazy right, and he just wouldn't stop playing it. And it was just like, wow. And he just cranked it up, and after like 3 or 4 times playing it, he was like, let's do something new. And we must have made like 3 or 4 records that night, all in the day's work we did that night. Yeah, we did a bunch of shit. And then it came back the next day, did more and more, and just like kept working. We kept working on the first track, and building it, and trying different ways we wanted to do it. They're playing with the production, and then I just kept coming. I would just, some days I would go, I wouldn't do anything. I just watch, and other writers would come in, other artists would come in and record, and I would just shoot the shit with the producers. And then some days I'd do like 3 or 4 jams, like crazy stuff. And next thing you know, I wake up and the album's out, and I'm on, if Compton's out, it's on iTunes, and I'm on like 5 records, and then it updates and I'm on 6 records. Then they was calling me 6-pack track. Nothing was ever the same.
Right.
Nah, it was crazy, bro.
How dope does that feel? Because it's also been rumored that Dre would make a whole album with somebody.
You never know if it'll come out.
Never know.
But that was he actually put it out, and I didn't have an album out really yet. I had my first album out, Venice, and I had the single out. But then, boom, Compton came out, and I didn't even have my album out. I was like, shit, I need something to go off with.
I heard him and LL did a whole album, and no one.
A bunch of people did stuff with him.
Like what I'm saying, like. LL, like
no, did Rakim too?
Yeah, Rakim, that's right. But Rakim signed to the label.
Yeah.
So when it actually comes out, are you like, fuck yeah, I made it? Like,
yeah, I'm different. I'm different off rip because I think that was the beauty of it. It's like
call your ex-girl and be like, hey, bitch.
That was calling me.
They
was calling me.
That shit. What was that shit?
I had a lot to deal with at that time. And I was married. I always had my oldest, was getting older, and I was like, yes, perfect. Like, thank God, like something's happening, like. Man, and I wasn't signed. I was boom. He put it out. Surprise drop. Had the movie. He had the motion.
Right.
And was like, nah, check him out. When he had the motion, I was like, wow. And I couldn't buy a deal before that. We was going everywhere.
Wow. So let me ask you. Did you stick with Aftermath because you felt loyal?
Yeah.
You felt like you deserved it. Like this guy really gave you a shot.
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely. Because he put his cards forward. And I feel like he put himself out there and kind of showed. Gave it that cosign when the cosign really meant something. Like. That's what he did for me, and before anybody else. So now I felt like so now you're gonna go sign to somebody else now after he didn't the deal promotion did that, and also I wasn't signing, so I got to really figure out that choice for myself, and it was dope because I had another deal with Stones Throw and they're a different group.
That's what I was about to ask.
So I could always do No Worry stuff, which is the reason how he found me. So I could always have that has nothing to do with anybody but me and my brother, and in Stones Throw, and then I could do Anderson .Paak for whoever I want to do it with. And I was like, wow, that's the epitome of what I always wanted. Like,
did any other label offer you as a solo?